Hey you guys, what's going on? Got a bit of an unusual lock here. This is a U-change cylinder. Not super difficult to pick, but they are unique inside. They're sort of like a quick set smart key. You can sort of use different keys. There's the little change slot, just like the smart key cylinders. Um, but yeah, you can basically change the bitting on the fly. There's little grooved key pins in there that kind of allow you to set different heights depending on which key you're using. But we're gonna check it up and get into it, and then I'm gonna take it apart and kind of show you what's inside. It's not super difficult to pick. It may need to change this angle just a tiny bit. It did kind of throw me for a loop the first time I picked it. It's definitely a little bit different, and it takes sort of a weird bit of tension. But let's chuck it up here. Hopefully the babies won't stop me. And get that in focus. Dropping things here. All right. I need to adjust just a tiny bit more. Get more of a top down. Here we go. Okay, so let's go for it. Now the tension is weird. You have to apply quite a lot of tension. You can see my bar bending. This is a 50 thousandths bar, and just a sort of deforest diamond. And I think the tolerances are pretty good in here because I have to chase around some pins. 3, 4, 5. 1. Drop 2 again. Drop 3 again. 4. Click out of 4. Dropped all those pins again after I touched 5. 1, 2. I'll click out of 2, 3, 4, 5. Back to 1. Tensioner's likely to go flying. Click on 2. Oh, and there we go. Got it open. You can see I can spin the cam there. And we're going to keep it unlocked. I do not have a key for this. Set that off to the side. Keep that in view, not like it matters. This isn't exactly a challenging pick. It's just a little bit different. I actually got some proper tools here. Maybe not. So let's use the improper tools. I'm trying to kind of watch this through the camera, so it's a little more difficult. That probably look like I'm screwing a football here. There we go. And I did have to make my own follower for this. This is it, just some painter's blue tape around a wooden dowel. So the pins are going to be, okay, hang on a second. I think the sliders are on this side. Or not the sliders, the little levers. You'll see what I mean in a second. All right, so let's take a bit of a closer look at this while it's still put together. So you can see these little brass bits. Those just sort of act as a little stopper whenever you insert the change tool. They just come out like that. Let's get a tray to set these in. So that is 5, or 1, 2, doing this backwards here. 3, 4, and 5. And here are the key pins. Let's take these out and get a really close look at them. So, you know, they're all the same. I'm just going to set that to the side for a second. What I really want to see is these key pins. So here are the key pins. Just going to try and lock that for a second. So you can see that basically the little change tool will come in and kick that out. Trying to do this so you can see it and not fling it everywhere, because these are sprung. Let's see if I can do it another way here. There we go. So you can see that is springy. Let's just this bit of the key pin, and here's the little tab. If you can see that. So that little tab, when you insert the change tool, pushes that out, and this little pin here will slide up and down. And depending on what key you have in there, when you remove the tool, the little tab will be locked into one of those grooves. And here is the inside of it. Just a very small little tab there. It just kind of pokes into that key pin and keeps it locked in place. So let's take a closer look at these. So these, first I should say, whenever you want to rekey this, you have to put the original key in, turn it 90 degrees. So these, before you insert the change tool. So these would be up against the driver pins. So these would be under a little bit of springiness. So when you remove the change tool, these would spring those little silver bits back into the key pin. And you can semi-see how that would work right here. So old key in, rotate 90 degrees, driver pins are right here. Pushing down whenever you insert the change tool. Do not have anything quite that slim right now, but these would kind of lever out of the way, and then when you put the tool back in, those would push back up against that little silver tab, and that would lock the pins into place, and then you'd have a newly keyed system. So it's very much like the smart key, but still very different. You can kind of see some of the insides there. You can see the little slot where the change tool goes in, and you can see those little silver little tabs there, and the change tool kind of goes behind them, pushing them out this way. So it's a very unique lock. There's another view at it. Very cool. Let me just take the rest of these out so you can see that it's, I guess, fully keyed and whatnot. These are all the same cuts, by the way. So you can open this easily just by poking something straight in there. Might as well take the driver pins out also. You can see the core in a little more detail. Looks like that's kind of machined in there. You can't see it from the front, but from the side, it looks like a plug. That could be to aid them in milling or cutting this core, however they do. Let's take a look at these driver pins. Let me zoom out just a little bit. Here's one, and they have little springs built into them. You can see that there, these little springs come out. And that's basically it. So whenever this core is turned, those would be pushing down right here. And that's how that little change key operates. Alright, I'm just going to take the rest of these out for posterity, I guess. But they are all essentially the same. And you can hear they have quite a lot of spring tension. You can hear them thudding when I push the follower out. So they all have pretty good springs on them. And there we go. That's it. Nothing special about the core there. Just a standard old core. And that's a U-chain cylinder. Hopefully that sheds a little bit of light on them. They're fairly interesting, not very difficult to pick. They do feel a little bit different, I guess, because of the tension required and just because of the nature of the pins. I think there's a slight bit of springiness inside these pins also when you try and pick them, so it's a little bit confusing. But anyway, that's all I got. Thanks, guys.